When I started to look at The Incredibles 2 as a cohesive film, one that wanted to take up 118 minutes of time that I could have spent with my daughter, it just didn't hold together very well. By the way, I don't have a daughter, but I just think that joke's, so funny, because it implies that I just left her at home. Like, see you later, sweetie. Off to see a movie made for kids. Have fun with the sitter. Anyway, there are 3 problems I have with The Incredibles 2, and I'm gonna say them now, and you're going to agree with me.
On one hand, the political dimension of the tweet is laid bare here. Donald Trump is really good, and his restaurants rock my world, quite unlike this non-Trump liberal restaurant. It's contradictory to think both that racism exists and that our solutions to it might have to fall along racial lines. It's impossible to hold those 2 thoughts in your head at once. It's beyond reason! When I see a person who's wearing something I don't like, or when I see a house that I think is bad, sure, I might make a mental note of it. In some cases, I might find it a bit funny. Ha-ha! I might say internally. But personally, I never feel like there's a problem that needs solving there. Like this person's bad house needs to be explained to them so that they can change their ways. But seemingly, every time Alon sees some art he doesn't like, he feels this inward urge to absolutely destroy the person who does like it. Just wreck them with facts and logic until they know what true art looks like. An urge that can only be stifled by the realization, no, Alon, it's not their fault. You shouldn't get mad at them or try to change them. You should feel pity for them. When I say that Click is one of the least fun comedies I've ever seen, what I mean isn't just that most of its jokes aren't funny to me, but also that they make me want to die. They make me forget what it is to feel joy. So often in the film, the setup to a joke is, check out how much of a rod the protagonist is, and the punchline is just, and to explain why I say that, I think it'll be helpful to take a trip in our time machine, back to the formation of Western philosophy itself. No, Phil explains, willpower doesn't work. You need to do the work even when you don't have the energy. Like, you have to push through your lack of motivation and do what's right for your body. You know what I mean. It's not willpower. Willpower is stupid as fuck, but you just have to do it. You know what I mean? You just have to get through it and get thin. It's not willpower though. It's completely unrelated. Willpower's over here, and what I'm talking about is way over here. They are 2 completely different ideas. This one dumb, this one smart as hell. This is a dazzle to the senses, genuinely. This is a reward. It's me day, baby. And so, him saying this line is an attempt to fraudulently identify with what he sees as the real working class. He, like you, isn't part of the liberal elite. He gets his hands dirty. And so, this meal is simply not enough for the massive buff working body of Paul Joseph Watson, the everyman. Or like trans people existing and wanting to be respected. That's a bit like Winston being brainwashed into thinking that 2 + 2 = 5. And you know, that's a bit dumb, isn't it? Like, I don't want to overplay my hand here or whatever, but personally, I don't think that trans people are trying to brainwash us. Take that, you lady who's just talking about her life. It's time you got a real talking to from me, Michael. No, Alon, you can't diagnose all of Russia and Saudi Arabia with some kind of traumatic art deficiency and then use that to explain why you hate their stuff so much. That's a classic, really weird thing to do, in my opinion. Just if you did that and you were around me, I'd put that on a board that says weird shit that you, weird fucking sociopathic weird shit. That's what I'd call it if you were around me and said that. It comes right out and says, all that smart thinking stuff, that's actually dumb as hell. You should follow the traditions we tell you to follow, you absolute peasant, and shut the fuck up. In that moment, I have no doubt that this is a sincere statement, that this is the thing they've always wanted to say. No doubt that in this moment, I am looking at the heart of PragerU. It's fucking delicious. I would eat this every goddamn day of my life. The cherry. Oh, there's watermelon. Austin is known for its barbecue, and if he wanted some good, down-to-earth food, he could have just gone to one of those places. But he didn't. He chose this place, a high-end, expensive, kind of pretentious restaurant. He wanted to go there, a place with a repulsive incel menu that he could have just looked at online. So I guess we have to ask, why would School of Life possibly want to strawman the opposition to self-help in their video about it? And you know what? You've lost me there. I can't imagine what sort of agenda they might have. Why could they possibly want to deceive us about this? It's unthinkable. It's...
They're not going to write, oh, burn all your books, but they will say, get rid of bad books.
Yeah.
1984.
Which, you know what? I'll just give that one to Dave, I guess. NPR, when they were saying that you should read more diverse authors, was essentially advocating for book burning. I might disagree with Dave Rubin about a great many things, but that is a bulletproof argument. You know what? Let's actually look up the author of that article really quickly. Juan Vidal wrote the article. Juan, you have a lot of explaining to do, mister. I can't believe that NPR would hire you, given your Nazi sympathies. Oh, Juan Vidal, you have a lot of explaining to do, mister. Oh, Juan Vidal. Oh, Juan. And Socrates just spends the entire play being like, I don't know about that. I'm not sure if you're right about that, Euthyphro. That's what he spends the whole play doing. He doesn't suggest a good moral theory or even try to. Wow, says School of Life. Seems like you got too many books on your hands that you're worried about. Well, you don't even need to worry about all those stupid books. Instead, read about these topics. The ones that we just so happen to have books about that we can sell you. The problem you're having is that you should be reading different books. Like, for instance, the ones we write. The ones that we... the ones that we write. Those should be your top priority books. As he writes, and no options for sides. Sides are not trendy. Being ripped off and still hungry after paying for a wet sponge is trendy. Embrace it, bigot. So here, the explicit political direction of the tweet is very obvious. Watson saying, embrace it, bigot, is a suggestion that the liberal elite just impose their garbage taste on everyone else and cancel you if you disagree. But what is he talking about? Sides? Who cares? Like, literally at all. Who cares about sides? So what we've got here is a tube of sour watermelon goo that I'm gonna pour into my mouth, I guess. I can't imagine wanting this as a structure for candy. Is there anyone in my audience who sees like a tube of goo and is like, ooh, let me add it, let me add that? I don't get it. I don't enjoy it at all. Okay, so that is unpleasantly sour. It's also just so awful. Big Joel, there's a glaring hole in your analysis here. Click is a film with a protagonist who has to learn and change. So of course, we're not supposed to like him in the first act. We're not supposed to be on his side with these jokes. That way, by the end of the movie, we can see how much his character has grown. How can you not understand that? You media novice. I should do what you do, and you should wash my balls. Who could Alain de Botton possibly be speaking to? Who is he talking about? Like, is this a pressing concern in School of Life's world that everyone's just reading too much and is too obsessed with getting all the books into their minds? I don't know a person who's so anxious about reading all the books that I'd feel the need to tell them, hey, take a reading break. You don't gotta read it all, bookworm. It really just goes to show how much of a fart contest this channel is.
We want to convey immense disappointment, so we say, I used to like what you do, but now I think you're a phony and a total fraud, unsubbed wanker. But we could say, I'm puzzled because I generally very much admire you and I don't entirely see the point of what you seem to be doing. It would be lovely if you could perhaps explain things from your no doubt very legitimate perspective.
So if someone said that to me online, my only response would be to think, stop it, internet man. Why are you pestering me? I've done nothing to you. You know, the problem with the original comment isn't just the tone of it, it's also the sentiment being expressed, right? That you thought my video was such a waste of your time, so bad, that you felt like you had to tell me about it. And you can't improve on that, really. Certainly this doesn't do the job, it's just saying the same thing, but nerdier and worse. Big Joel, I usually love your videos, but this was a rancid waste of my time. Could you talk to me about that? I ordered the King Candy Bar to troll them, and it's literally a fucking $1 Hershey's chocolate type bullshit thing surrounded by crumbs and Ponzi generic ice cream. Why? Just why? Again, he simply could have just not gotten a dessert or ordered one of the other ones. But he chose the King Candy Bar, and when he got it, he didn't really talk about its composition, never even mentions how the chocolate tastes. No, he was simply mad about the choice he made, about the fact that they gave him what he asked for. The use of horror elements in Twilight is often seen as a complete joke. Look, the vampire sparkles. Let's just do this accent. That's not scary at all. It's just weird and silly. Truly a disgrace to the horror tradition. But I don't think that Italian man is being entirely fair. What we should eat on a date. I saved this one for last because it's just so odd that even now I really don't understand what's going on here. Like, right off the bat, it makes it really clear that it's some sort of guide on what to order on a first date to impress your desired partner, which that's pretty weird, right? It has a huge pickup artist, you should make weird, unnatural choices if you want to seduce someone else vibes. If there's any takeaway here, it's this. The heart of PragerU sucks major ass, and they know that just as well as I do. No, he hates it because it exists, and because he, of his own volition, chose to be there. And how chaotic is that? How can life make sense if you can just go somewhere you don't want to be, order food you don't want, and do it all for no reason at all? I've seen this movie 4 times now, and I promise you that I can't feel anything anymore. I'm worried because I've been living it relatively easy with like the Warhead extended line as opposed to the Warhead candies that are just like this. And I'm worried about what it's going to do to me now that I'm back at it. God, you can really taste the grape though. And so, finally, we return to Boomer the dog. Did you forget about him? Did you forget about this dog? I sure didn't. I wrote this video, baby. I am in complete control of this situation. It has all been leading up to this, baby. Fucking strap on your goddamn seatbelts, because we're talking about Boomer the fucking dog! Okay, considering... Hello, waiter. I'd like the children's fish sticks. And as a beverage, I'd like to order the cranberry juice in order to seduce my lovely date. Since I'm sitting here with my lovely date, I'd like to have the fish sticks off the kids' menu with a nice glass of cranberry juice on the side. And for dessert, perhaps the most elegant thing you have on the menu. So that's the end of the video. That's the end of the video.